So, January was a very interesting month. You know, December ended, and with the last video that I posted, you guys know all about that. And the new year began. Okay, so I just did my third round of shoveling today. It's so much snow. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see. This is like, you know, above my waist. These are dangerous spots, so I always kick them in. Go under the arch. You have to do that. And then you have to bow, because otherwise you hit your head. This was where the pagoda was, which is about 3 feet tall, and it is completely and totally buried at this point. This is where the cart was. Well on its way to, well, it's completely buried also. The dam is still functioning, amazingly. Like, it's still going. Both dams. That one's like a big snow vagina, which is kind of fun. Yeah, it's a big snow vagina. And then I have a couch surfer coming tonight from Korea, so I guess he'll be familiar with snow. But can you see how deep this snow is? Oh my God. I keep shoveling it, but I don't know how long I'll actually be able to maintain it, because I feel like the serious snow is just starting to happen, and already, you know, I'm running out of places to put it. My muscles are getting a nice workout from this, but the neighbor is in the hospital. I think she'll be back sometime soon, but in the meantime, this is all gonna come down here, and there's no place for it, and there's no place even for the snow that I am shoveling, which is a lot. Like, just, you know, this is all, it's a huge ravine in the summer, and I couldn't reach higher than that with a ladder in the summer. So, but so far so good. I've managed to keep my kerosene tank free, and I've kept my lights glowing, and I made these steps rather than the ramp, which steps are dangerous for some people because they want to step on the edge of the steps. Don't step as deep into the steps as you can. That's the deal. But there aren't steps here normally, and this is normally a ravine, so that's like, you know, better than 6 feet of snow piled right there. And probably up by the next to the house, it ends up being something like 8 to 10 feet of snow. I keep, thankfully, having the snow come off my roof, because my house is built awesomely. And then, you know, I'm clearing it periodically off of the entryway and the exit way. That's Satoshi Manor today on January 16th here in Japan. And suddenly, right after my new friend Ryu stayed, he's a Korean couch surfer, he stayed, and we, you know, enjoyed the snow a little bit, and then it just stopped snowing. The sun came out, got about 10, 12 degrees warmer than it normally does this time of the year here in Otaru, and it stopped snowing, and the snow started melting or compressing, lost probably half a meter of snow, about 1.5 to 2 feet of snow just disappeared. And I started thinking, uh-oh, you know, in California, this would mean fire season is going to be terrible because no snowpack, and also drought. And so I started asking people about that, and they said, don't worry, snow is coming. This is like a lot less snow than we usually have this time of the year, and it's a lot hotter, but the snow is going to come. But still, I kind of worried, and I missed all the shoveling for some reason. I say that now because day before yesterday, the snow came back, and it came back hard. There is more snow now than there was before that 2 feet of snow melted, and it just keeps coming. I went out and did shoveling yesterday and today multiple times, and I can tell you, the Satoshi Manor Uki Gymnasium is an amazing place to get fit. I am getting so strong and fit from all of this shoveling. But the truth is, I don't know how much I can keep it up. The problem isn't that my body won't allow me to shovel. The problem is that I'm running out of places to put the snow as I shovel it. That seems to be an issue. I was warned by people that I should hire snow removal service to come and remove my piles of snow. But I thought, I have this huge, big property. I'm going to have plenty of places to put the snow. But actually, it's all filling up. There's a huge ditch a stream that runs next to Satoshi Manor. It's completely filled in. It's about, 10, 12 feet deep. The snow is completely piled, as you'll see at the end of the video, up to the roof, the bottom of the roof of my house. I've got 4 and 5 foot, 10 foot drifts of snow where I've shoveled snow out. My neighbor's roof, as I look at it now, has about 6 feet of snow on it. I don't know where she is. Maybe she's in the house. Maybe she's in the hospital. She was in the hospital, but that snow is just piling up, and it must be heavy on that house. I hope that house is strong. I look up the mountainside, and I can see so much snow. It's amazing, and I love it. And I'm so happy to live in a place that gets snow like this, where I have a nice warm house that I can warm up in. I'm making nice friends and getting the opportunity to go do nice things. And during that, I guess it was about 2 to 3 week period where the weather was so nice, I thought I should just get out of here. Because one of the problems when it heats up like that in the winter and there's lots of snow is the snow melts just enough to form a nice layer of slippery ice. And it makes it very hard to walk anywhere because you can't crunch through the snow. You don't have any foot purchase at all. And I live on the side of a mountain, so my walks were not very fun. So I said, let's get out of here for a bit. Took a trip to Yoichi, where I was fortunate to do a monitor tour, which is something great that happens in Japan. Monitor tours are where companies essentially hire you or give you a free tour to tell them how their tour is and how they can improve it and how it might be better for other foreigners or tourists coming that they want to sell those tours to. So these were some very nice tours. In Yoichi, I went to the Nika distillery. They fed us this amazing, amazing meal. And they allowed us to make our own blend of whiskey and bottled it for us. So I have a bottle of whiskey made from single malts that were distilled at the Yoichi brewery, Nika whiskey. And I have a custom blend that's bottled from Nika whiskey that I made, which is so cool. And the tour was cool. It's neat to see how complex whiskey making actually is. So after that, I came back to Satoshi Manor, and then I went to Sapporo for a great tour that was eat and drink like a local in Sapporo. And we went out and we ate and we drank and we had so much fun. The food was so good. The sake was so good, but maybe a little too much of it. But that was okay. I didn't have to come back. I had a hotel room that night in Sapporo. I stayed in not a capsule hotel, but a cabin hotel, which is essentially like a capsule hotel. Really nice. These cabins are like little bed-sized cabins, and you crawl inside and you have a TV and a place to sleep, and they had a nice sauna and, shower facilities. This was a men's only facility. So there's also women's only facilities. And I have to say, I've never stayed in a men's only hotel before, but it was so relaxing. It just was really nice. There was nothing, I don't know. I like being around women a lot, but there was something very nice about just men. So I woke up the next day and I wanted to go to Upopoi because it's just a place that celebrates the Ainu people. And that is located in Shiroi Town. And so I got on the train and I went to Shiroi Town, and it was pretty neat. And I spent the whole day at the Ainu Museum, learning about Ainu culture, learning about Ainu history, and it was a very cool facility. The National Ainu Museum was there. They have a cultural exchange hall. They have workshops. They have a craft studio. They have a place that's a traditional Ainu village where you could, I didn't do this, but I should have, where you can try on Ainu clothing and have photo shoots and things like that. Maybe the next time I go back, doing stuff like that by myself, I'm always a little hesitant. Ate some great food, stayed in a hostel that night, and I have to say the hostel experience in Japan, I prefer the cabin hotel, actually. The hostel was okay, but hostels basically just, I don't know, the cabin hotel felt like they treated us better in the cabin hotel. It was cheaper, and it was more enjoyable in the cabin hotel. The hostel was nice enough. It was clean. It was in Shiroi Town. They offered a breakfast. I woke up early and didn't have the breakfast and left the next day. And I headed down to Moiron. I think I'm saying that right, which is down a little peninsula town. I wanted to go down there and kind of like see it, just because I want to see all of Hokkaido while I live here. And I plan to live here, hopefully, if things go well, for a long, long, long time. This is my home, I hope. If I can make it work, if I can find a way to convince the Japanese government that they should let me stay here, I want to stay here. So I went to Moiron. There wasn't really anything to do there. There's a little science center there, but there's a beautiful peninsula. There was a cape, there's some lighthouses, and so I watched the sunrise from one little town on the way, and I just walked around this town for a couple hours and just sort of enjoyed being there. After that, I went to Noborobetsu. Noborobetsu is famous for a few things. It's famous for demons and devils because it has a valley called the Hell Valley, where there are hot springs and sulfur fumes that come out, and so there's all these devils around. It's very famous for onsen. And the onsen there, I've heard, are very nice. I didn't have time to go enjoy the onsen. And then I came back to Otaru. And the next day I had a super fun experience. Snowshoeing in Iwanizumi with Hokkaido Great Adventure Team. This was another monitor tour. And Hiro-san, the owner and operator of that tour company, is such a cool dude. I was so happy to become friends with him.
What you can understand, this is fox foot.
Fox foot. And with Masa-san, who was also on the monitor tour. Fox.
Dogs.
Yeah. So Hiro-san took us to Iwanizumi and really taught us how to snowshoe and took us out into the forest through pristine snow and showed us animal sign, and we had a small lunch, snack out in the forest. We snowshoed next to this lake and like through heavy duty snow, and it was so cool. He wants to hire me as a guide and show me how to do all this stuff, which I would be totally down for. So we'll see how that goes. He does really cool adventures like paddleboarding and all kinds of outdoor adventure stuff, which is what I am here for in Hokkaido. I love it. So that was an amazing adventure. After that, we had some buckwheat noodles, some soba, traditional style. And that was amazing also. The food was good. The company was good. Back to Otaru, being here, living at Satoshi Manor, enjoying the life that I enjoy. I really feel blessed, and I feel so lucky. And then I had one more monitor tour during this period, which was a couple of days ago. And a couple of days ago was really fun. I went back to Sapporo, and there was no snow still. Well, there was snow, but it was that icy snow. We hadn't gotten this amazing fresh powder that we have right at the moment. But this was a sled making workshop. So we met up and they taught us how to make sleds from rice bags, which every family in Japan has these plastic rice bags because they buy the rice and the rice comes in them. And they taught us how to make these little sleds. And so then we went out to a hill and we sledding down and around using these things. Afterwards, you know, we had a nice little bento lunch together, and it was really fun. Made some nice friends at that tour. And that's the best part of doing these tours, honestly. It's so cool to be able to make friends like this in this way in Japan. So I'm very grateful. Back to Satoshi Manor. And then finally, you know, in my busy social calendar, I met up with a friend yesterday, and she introduced me to a very nice probiotic vegetarian restaurant here. I'm not a vegetarian, but I love eating vegetarian food. I love healthy food, and probiotics are a big part of that. So it was really cool to be able to hang out with her and learn about this new place. And she showed me like a health food store here in Otaru that was very nice. And they gave me a free sample of their house-made soy sauce, which I'm excited to try. I haven't yet. So anyway, that's what's happening at Satoshi Manor. Check out all this snow. I hope I don't get buried, but you know what? If I get buried, if I get pancaked, I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys are happy to be wherever you are. Aloha. Okay, so I just finished my shoveling. You can see the stream is still flowing under there. Into my tin cup. But we've got probably, I don't know, a meter of snow. I guess 2 feet at least. In the past 48 hours, and I knew that we would eventually reach a place where shoveling this whole area became maybe too much, and we're fast approaching it. This is like a wet, heavier snow. I dug out a lot this morning, but I had to dig out the wind chime, the gate chime. Yeah, and the gate, as you can see, is completely and totally buried. I just fell into a hole that I had cleared out so that I wouldn't fall into it. But the biggest hole to worry about is, look at that, Mr. Robot. I had to dig out his face today, but time for his long winter slumber now. The house is officially snow up to the roof on the second floor. I cleared that already. And I'll just walk through. The spring finally seems like it might be reaching the point of can't stay unfrozen, at least the surface of it. And you know, I dug out the sides a little bit so that I could still look out the window and see the beautiful things, but yeah, it's very quickly reaching the point where I won't be able to maintain this shoveling because I don't have any more to put, you know, a new meter of snow.